Welcome everybody to my channel. Today I'll cook shrimp cabbage stir fry. First I cut my onions and I blend my cabbage. I cut it up and I put it in a blender and I pour water, a lot of water into it above a certain, like the maximum mark. And then I blend on high. I just blend it real quick. And that's how I slice my cabbage sometimes if I don't want to slice with a knife. So I blend it and then I sieve it and I let it drain really well. And then I go to the range and I put some olive oil in the pot, in the skillet. When it's done melting, I add my shrimp and onions. So I start to stir fry the shrimps first. So the shrimps go in. These are frozen shrimps I bought from the store. And then I put my onion after the shrimp, whichever, either one can go in first. I just did not want to make the oil boil over, like make noise. I just melted the coconut oil. Okay, then I stir fry the shrimps for a little bit so that it turns pink. I stir it up. So bear in mind that since it's frozen shrimps, we're going to have some water in the food. So I put in Himalayan salt. It doesn't matter the kind of salt you have. You can use whatever you have. And then I put in pepper or basil and basil, sorry. I put in pepper and basil. You can spice it however you want, but I don't like a lot of spices in my stir fry. I've tried putting curry and thyme and I didn't like the taste, so I just stick with either salt and black pepper or Cameroon pepper and basil. Basil is the only thing I like in it. Yeah, that is not just salt and pepper. Now it has, you see, it has heated up a little. Then I add the cabbage. So the reason I did the shrimps first is so that it cooks really well before I start to add the cabbage. And then I let the cabbage, cook well enough. Depending on, when it's hot enough. I don't want to tell you how many minutes you have to cook it. However, at the same time, you don't want to overcook it, so you don't want it mushy. Okay, so I'm going to take my own portion as per keto babes, okay? Don't mind me on that keto. I haven't started being serious about it. So the rest, I'm making the rest for my daughter. She likes it when I mix this vegetable with rice. So I'm going to add rice and stew into the rest in the skillet for my daughter. Yep, so this is my own plate. I'll set it aside. And then I'll add rice into the skillet. I'm going to scoop the rice. Yeah, so I added rice. This is boiled rice. I made it with a rice cooker. So I just went to the rice cooker and got some of it. I think this is sufficient this would be enough for my daughter and still have some leftovers. And then I add the stew after that. It's just, regular Niger stew that I made with tomatoes and bell peppers. And also, when I make my stew, I like to add a bag of mixed vegetables. Yep. So there's supposed to be chicken in this stew, but because of the shrimps, I'm just gonna let it be shrimp, rice, and cabbage, stir fry, something like that. So I already collected mine, okay? This is for other members of my family who like to also eat this cabbage. It really tastes good with rice. So that's what I'm just, heating up. I'm trying to heat up the rice too and then serve my girl, my daughter. So on keto diet, this is my go-to meal. It's one of them. Another thing I eat most mornings is eggs. I make omelette with various kinds of vegetables. And then this one I eat for either lunch or dinner. I try to make a lot that will be sufficient for more than one meal. The reason I do that, I want to have leftovers so that I always have, keto compliant food in my refrigerator. That way, I don't cheat, because the reason I cheat most times is that I come in hungry and no food. Most times, the handiest thing is something filled with carbs, and then I fall off again, fall off the wagon. Yeah, this rice should be ready now for my girl. I'm just gonna put it in a plate for her and then leave the rest for any other person who would like to, you know, eat it. I believe my little boy will also enjoy it. Yeah, so this is what it looks